Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful empowered harmonizers. Let's just take a deep breath and get present right now. And just let it all out. Let all your worries sort of cease and leave your body for a moment. So you can just kind of focus in and zoom on in today's topic. And that is really how to liberate yourself from once you've sort of begun to identify the red flags of a malignant narcissist. Someone who you have learned has taken you on really sort of a detour of sorts from your life purpose, your life intention, what's physiologically right or normal for you, and really has caused your life to become askew. And to really identify how you can detangle yourself from the energy of this person. And we've had a lot of great questions, and I'm going to focus in and zoom on right now on what a viewer asked, and that was like, is it natural to feel drained of energy when you're around these types of people who are malignant? In other words, and the answer is yes, because if you're around someone who is malignant, narcissist, or psychopathic, they are disenfranchising everyone else around them, meaning that they're taking the life force, the life chi, that sort of an intrinsic element that is your happiness, that is your guidance, that is your focus, that gets you going in the right direction. It's your intention and your intuition and your higher consciousness, what you are deprived of while you're with them. It is distorted. It's too much chaos that they are creating in the energy field, the thought field, the feeling element, the feeling etheric energy within you, which then deprives you really sort of your own internal compass. I call it your own sort of emotional compass, your North Star. That is what is guiding you to that which is feeling good, and then allowing you to surround yourself with people who are happy, who are kind, who are benevolent, who are altruistic, who have compassion, who are happy, who are in their element, and so it gives you the opportunity to be in your element. So I remember hearing a great statement, and that was, be bold with your life so others can be also. And so really, when it comes to being bold and being empowered, it is to realize that it is this experience which the malignant narcissist deprives you of. So if you're with a covert narcissist, someone who is very withdrawn, words are kind of in one ear and out the other, or there's a lack of communication. There's a lack of conversation. There's a lack of eye contact. We're talking about in the covert narcissist. We're not going to talk about the psychopathic right now because that's a whole different element. But when you are eventually, staying with them for a consistent period of time, you're going to feel this deprivation of energy. You're going to feel disempowered. Once you begin to identify the red flags, it's a whole nother story, and so we're going to kind of look in at how your own inner voice is muffled. It's shut down. It's non-existent. It's not really within you. It's sort of, shut off while the other is going through kind of their climax of their life. They're going through the epiphany of their life. They're living their miracle. They're living their purpose. They're living their own internal guidance. But in the covert narcissist, because they withhold so much communication, there's sort of a quiet harshness, when you're around them, that causes you to sort of over-obligate or try to over-communicate. And this can be time, energy, and not just over-obligating it's generally of your attention. When you pay attention, you're paying, there's a cost within you. And so when you feel deprived of energy, when you feel disempowered, it's because you're allowing yourself to placate to their needs. Play to their needs, play to their quietness, and sort of shut down that, energetic, amorphic energy, which is, would naturally cause you to transmute and transform yourself, it becomes caught up in this other person. And so in some cultures, it's almost as if, excuse me 1 minute. I just realized my plug isn't in here, and I want to get my plug. This is sort of, if this is kind of rough around the edges here, but I just need to get this brightened up. We are back living in the moment and a little bit brighter now. And so when we're really sort of looking in at the lower energy, the lower vibration, the depression, the post-traumatic stress syndrome, when the light begins to come on for you, and sort of that apathetic feeling that, you can't really get over the hump. It's fearful to move forward because you feel like you're losing a part of yourself. This person has become so intrinsic to you and becoming the role of sort of the stronger shoulder, or, that's how you have adapted. That's how you've adjusted. That's how you've become. So the lower energy is to say it's a really sort of a feeling of being lost and feeling of grief, a feeling of depression, not knowing where the grass is greener. You want to live the good life where the grass is greener, where you're feeling energized, where you can really feel planted with your feet on the ground, and then really begin the foundation. So really it's like the first step when you're getting into a foundational sense. So to get into a foundational sense where you're more energized is to see where you feel okay breaking away. In other words, you should feel strong enough within yourself to not need, rely, or have this person necessarily. So it's to, it's in terms of, in other words, you need yourself more than you need this person. You need your own internal flame, your own internal passion, versus only flaming the passion of another. So oftentimes, maybe this has been received in a controversial way by the viewers. It is to understand not necessarily that you don't need them. You need people in your life and you love people in your life. But it's to say, I need my passion. I need myself. I need myself to be switched on and empowered, not just to satisfy the needs of another. So it becomes really, when you get to that level, then you can satisfy other people's needs. And it's, it's a positive self-fulfilling prophecy rather than a negative self-fulfilling prophecy where, you're feeling like you're always getting the short end of the stick. You're getting stonewalled. You're caught up in trying to figure out what went wrong, how you can change, how you can better yourself. So the key to getting energized is to saying, is to separate yourself and sort of have that dawn of awareness where it really comes into you and you say, I need myself and my passion more so than I need to just only worry about others and their passion. So it's a shift of focus. It's a shift of awareness. It's a shift of perspective. But you can only make that leap once you're, you're getting the foundation and you give it to yourself rather than waiting for someone else like the covert narcissist to give it to you. It's like, it's being set up in the wrong way. So that is the really kind of a lot of the root of the, I feel, of the disempowered, the lower feelings is when you're really sort of in that middle zone, in that sort of kind of like limbo, floundering, or feeling lost. When you're really sort of emerging through, you've been able to identify some of the red flags, and you're going through that transitionary period, is to say, okay, what, when you're sort of, you're becoming sort of indecisive or low energy. Life becomes very untherapeutic, unfulfilling. It's not clicking for you. There's not sparks. There's not excitement. There's no music. There's no smiles. There's no movies. There's no outings. There's no events. There's no adventure. There's no spontaneity. So that's the problem. You're getting out of your flow. You're getting out of your intrinsic value. Your intrinsic value is going to keep the flow in life. And so to become really grounded, you need to realize what then therapeutic things you can do and have in the I have moment, where you can get that energy going and you feel empowered, where you feel energized, where you feel fulfilled, where sort of, your head is picked up. It's literally picking your eyes up and being able to look around and planting yourself around the abundant, planting yourself around the feel-good energy, knowing that life has your back, knowing that source energy has your back, your guardian angels, your guides have your back. That's your higher power. So when you realize you have that within you, and you sort of, it's almost like lighting a flame. You have a candle and you light the flame and then it has that glow. So it's being able to light your own wick, having that steel and flint within you to say, I'm going to, light my own internal fire. I'm going to light my own internal light, and I'm going to let that glow, and I'm going to let that be, and then begin to then fulfill that reservoir within yourself by surrounding yourself with, not only, depending on where you are to get energized, is to say, I am worth it. I am passionate. I am enthusiastic. I am engaged. I am interested in the good things in life. I am interested in the finer parts of life. I'm interested in the talented people. I'm interested in mentors. I'm interested in learning. I'm interested in having, a strategic intellect and being able to plan and organize for myself. I am disciplined. I am miraculous. I am God's miracle. I am life's miracle. And beginning to say these things and getting a rhythm for yourself is getting the momentum back. So it's a physiological state to say that I need my own internal flame. I need my own passion. And I'm okay sharing that with the world. And it's not going to go out. That inner flame is not going to go out when I begin to take care of myself. So really the wrong way is to be in that self-deprecating way that oftentimes you feel when you're in a relationship with a malignant, covert narcissist. When you're finding you're really drained, something is missing. What's missing is your passion. It's your inner light. It's your own directive. It's a sort of a sense of your own worth and worthiness. It's a sense of surrounding yourself with the aha moments, the aha experiences. Your recovery date should be all about this. Your recovery date should all be like, a flint and steel, where you just begin to ignite that inner spark. As Einstein said, it's 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration. So you need to focus on that 1%, that inspiration. What really inspires you? To inspire in spiritus, to have spirit within. So when you hear it's a very spirited drummer, a very, spirited teacher, a very spirited artist. So, when they say, so in other words, that person is in their element. So becoming empowered is really saying, okay, what is my element? Unabashedly, unashamedly, beyond the shame and doubt and sort of deadening silence that has perhaps permeated part of my life, is to say, how can I fill that with music? How can I feel that with clarity? How can I feel that with an emotional sobriety, where I'm no longer addicted by the ups and downs, the erratic behaviors, the erratic feelings, the self-doubt, the what's wrong with us, getting out of all that, those hammer down moments, and say, you know what, how about I take it a little bit lighter? How about I sit down and recharge? How about I get myself into more of a healthy mindset, a healthy feel set, where you're really in a healthy setting. And your recovery date should be all about that. And it should be at least 1 to 2 hours so you can really soak it in. And, if you need to do something therapeutic, remember that there's all sorts of ways to do something therapeutic for yourself to re-energize yourself versus just like prescription medication. We have a great viewer who made a comment that a psychiatrist had recommended that she takes some medication, some psychoactive medications, and she said, no, thank you. Realize that there's other things that you can do that can kind of soften the blow, that can soften the extremes, that can help energize you in a balanced, responsible manner, and where you really ignite your own passion, and you find that that's what's most important, and that you can have that then exchange. There's things like you can have, a therapy dog. Here in the U.S., I know that is highly recommended, especially for people who have had, traumatic childhoods, different accidents, loss of companionship, grief, post-traumatic stress syndrome. A therapy dog can be a highly rewarding, and it's a trained animal, which is designed to be therapeutic in nature. So there's something about their temperament, their feel, how they're sensitive and trained to people. You really might want to look into that. A therapy dog, a service dog, seeing how you go about getting that in your area, what is required. Other sort of things you can do, nature is a great healer. The abundance of Mother Earth, earthing, taking your shoes off, walking barefoot, and cleansing your body of all the negative, deadened energy, and allow yourself to really sort of pick up that energy from the earth itself. The earth will recycle and take out the negative ions. This is called earthing. And you can do this, and you can feel the energy coming to you and feeling very, very alive. It's a very highly exhilarating, highly charged experience, as well as going around things like waterfalls, where there's, a steady drop of water, and it changes the ionic energy in the environment. And so it's very cleansing, it's very clearing. It opens up the sort of cellular activity. You can modify your DNA, and really how this, energizes how you feel through this natural mechanism. Going and experiencing things like wonderful forests, wonderful golf courses, different, gardens that surround the areas. There's all sorts of very manicured gardens. You can go on a garden tour, a house tour, a architectural tour of a local urban area. So even if that's different for you, you might find that a lot or overwhelming, but there's all sorts of things then that you can do in the aquatic area. The water therapy, where you begin to swim, hot tub, sauna. These are all very natural, healing, and energizing activities which you can develop. There was a really cool Netflix series, and I think it was called Dirty Money. And it talks about really how people live off the earth. And there was this great series where they really focused in on this eel fisherman out in the Delaware River, which is in the eastern United States. And he built a fish trap, which is out of the Native American Navajo style, where it's like all sorts of layered and then staggered wood, where it's built to really hone in all the river, and then it has these wooden slats, almost like little steps. And all the eels would swim into that. And he would capture the eels every day, and he'd put them in this canoe boat. He had wood, water in the bottom of his canoe. He'd scoop with a net all those eels. It wouldn't be for me, but he would then, put all these, he'd maybe get 50 or 60 eels a day. I don't eat those. But he would then paddle it back to his big, huge house, big mansion on to the Delaware River. He would take them and he would do various things and smoke them and then sell them in his own store. But one of the things he did was, I thought very interesting, was he also, in the Native American spirit, had a sweat lodge where he would go in and he created for himself like a sauna, where he would have like hot fire or hot coals that he'd bring in there, and he would stay in there for hours at a time, and he would kind of purge himself of a lot of sweat or whatever it is that they do, and they sage these things. Again, I have not done that. I have done sauna work and these sort of things. But these are very therapeutic. You can study these. Also, I talk very in depth about resensitizing yourself and getting really sort of feel good stuff, feel good textures, feel good music, feel good colors. These are the things that you need to kind of awaken yourself to and see how you can improve your life immediately through resensitizing, your environment, your body. What different lotions can you use? Lotion, oftentimes it's a very simple thing that you can do and then put on your skin, so it's very hydrating. Can you drink some more water? Can you get yourself, a jug of cool water and put lemon slices, orange slices, lime slices, fresh mint, fresh rosemary, whatever sort of natural herbs you can find. Parsleys, these are things that are all very cleansing and naturally energizing. Lemons are particularly energizing if you, even if you, the lemon juice as well as a little bit of the rind is very energizing. It gives you that live enzyme energy. And then eating things that are closer to the sun and soil, your natural fruits and vegetables have a lot of live enzymes. And so you're eating live energy versus like a real heavy sort of meat and potatoes diet. Sure, you might need like some macaroni and cheese or some pasta or something if that gives you a lot of energy, and find and sort of experiment with foods and see how food affects your well-being. Early in my college studies, I was very interested in also the role of exercise and how it alleviates depression. Physical exercise is very well known and studied as its effects. It's as effective as the antidepressants. A lot of studies have shown that consistent aerobic exercise, running, speed walking, playing a fast game of tennis, swimming vigorously, walking vigorously, having a brisk walk, getting your heart rate up, doing aerobic energy. Getting aerobic exercise is also a feel-good activity that you can incorporate. And you could even make this part of your recovery date is to, become involved, see if you can also get into some exercise, a little bit of physical activity, a little bit of lifting of weights, a little bit of stretching, or, the yoga, things of this nature, things that you can do naturally to get your energy up, where you begin to break the pattern of the silence. You begin to break the pattern of feeling disenfranchised, defeated, depressed. You break the cycle of apathy. You become sort of, life, you realize then that life has your back. And, a lot of people then, they want to kind of go back to the old negative feelings. They want to retreat. So, realize that that's going to be natural. But if you have the recovery date and continue to write that in your appointment book, I definitely highly recommend you get an appointment book so you have something to look forward to. You need to have also something to look forward to be energized after you begin to identify the red flags of a potential hazardous relationship. And schedule these things in so you have something to look forward to. Again, it's finding that inner spark, that inner passion, which says, I need my passion more than I need other people right now. I need to have that. That is something I can have. And then you can see how then once you have that going strong and you've repeated your passion for several weeks, several months, several years, and then you're really sort of in your element, you're in your zone, and then you can be with other people in a healthy manner in your zone. And then see if, if the malignant people, don't embrace this about you, then they're harming you. So that's your energy. It's a depletion of energy. So this is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today, and I hope that these videos do help. Please share, please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support. Peace be with you, and live in the moment.